So, um, my roller's blunt. So, when you're a non-affiliate, you could you could follow and see things however you want to see them, right? You could follow PCs. You could do whatever you want. You know, anybody could do whatever they want. Really, that's where dignity and discipline come in. When people aren't watching, how do you conduct yourself? How do you carry yourself? Do you still follow the rules? I don't get on here and talk to all kinds of dropouts and try to befriend them just for personal gain. That right there is uh, that's a questionable behavior. But when you guys see a homie that comes up here and says that you don't mess with PCs and he's active, you guys want to dig. Oh no, he can't be. He can't be. He can't be. See, when you're in the hood and you're gangbanging, you don't have time for a phone. You don't want people to know where your location's at. You don't have time to be chatting, seeing who likes what and what hearts went where and who likes my. You don't have time for that. You're only on social media when you have time for it. Some people, come by, but if you're actively in the streets and you're really kicking, you're not going to be on YouTube because you don't have to. You're worrying about what's going on, where your money's at, where the cops are at, where the bag's at. You don't have time to be. You don't have time for social media, and most of the people that get on social media will be PCs and dropouts, and they'll tell their story, whatever. So when you don't gangbang, you tend to sympathize with them because a lot of them will start talking about the propaganda, uh, or the lifestyle it's fake, or you're gonna hear everything negative towards that lifestyle because they didn't make it right, because their experiences were really bad to where they had to check in. You're not a gang member, you're gonna understand, you're gonna sympathize with that. Or when you hear somebody say, I went to a 50-50 yard and I wanted to go home and I wasn't gonna, like, you guys are gonna favor with all that because you guys don't understand the situation, and you guys don't, you're not putting, you haven't been in that situation. But there's not a big difference between 55% and 33% at all. So if you lose your 33%, you still get your halftime. So so what are we talking about here, right? That's just like, come on, man. That doesn't make no sense. That dude Nico, whatever, King Nico, whatever his name is. When you have dudes like that went to a PC shit yard and they still continue to have followers and at a nice a nice account, a nice amount of subscribers still following them. You got to understand, a lot of them people are not gang members. A lot of these people that are subscribers on YouTube, they are not gang members. I just barely found that out. That's why so many people, so many other content creators are able to succeed on YouTube because they're not really gang members. So they understand how normal people think and react and talk on an everyday um, basis, and they'll do things as a favor thing, like, I'm a family man, or I'm here to raise my kids, or they'll say all the things that a normal person wants to hear, or because a normal person has time to get on YouTube after work, they're at home or while they're at work. That's why YouTube or social media is dominated by non-affiliates. It's because when you're at work or you're at home, you have time for that. You have time to get on YouTube when or maybe you're waiting for your kids to come. Whatever people do, you're not doing anything illegal, so your phone can be used as a tool. When you're all high and tripping out, you don't want a lot of people. You're not going to be on the phone. Or a lot of people, a lot of gang members, they don't have the internet because, I mean, if you're all high, you're not going to have Wi-Fi. It's either or, you know. So that goes into a effect with a lot of things. But when these dudes that pretend to be gang members that are on social media, what happens is what's happening now. The game starts getting watered down because at one time we weren't supposed to be on here at all. So the dropouts and all that, they had to get started. They had to go. They like, you know how many homies I gave my YouTube channel to, and they'll like, but it's I've been kicked. I've had so many different channels that they don't follow YouTube like that. But for me to keep giving them different channels, they're not going to be like a lot of people are not that I know that they don't mess with YouTube at all. Like just for tutorial kind of videos, but other than that, they don't mess with them because of the persona that's out there. All these dropouts that are, you know, everybody says, oh, they're glamorizing that life. You're glamorizing being a dropout. So when some of us talk, like whenever I talk or whenever I'm talking about my situations, it might seem like I'm glamorizing it, but I'm not. It's just my I don't have a ugly ending like most of you guys do. So you guys are so accustomed to hearing, well, I couldn't take it, so this is why I did that. That's not my situation. I have an impeccable prison career. My hood issues with certain people don't have nothing to do with my career at all. It's and when I trip on is some of my homies because some people are taking shots. Like when I hear them, like the Ray thing, he must know because it's rare that he would come up with that name. But for the person that's giving this information or putting it on social media, if you are one of the homies taking a shot, how weak is that? You see what I'm up here doing, dog? I'm up here trying to prevent homies from locking it up. So for any homies, if you are one of my homies from the hood, if you're taking shots at me, you have to be one of the dropouts. You have to be like Sneaky or Mijo or um or Punch or Little Cuete. It has to be one of them. That's the only ones because I don't see anybody that I bumped heads with or I see Baby Ray doing that shit too because that he's a pussy. Um, but if you're one of the homies that's active, you're not gonna be reaching out to no stranger and you're not gonna be taking shots at me on YouTube. That's only something that one of my homies that's a dropout now would do. But like how lame is that? Even like for me to reach out to another stranger, why wouldn't you just pull up? Like pull up, it's not that. I mean, come on, facts. I trip off that shit, but um, excuse me, Papa, excuse me, man. Oh my God, boys, you just messed up. Boys, come on, man, go sit down, boys. Boys, come on, you gotta move. Boys, you can't sit right behind me like that. I can't move the chair, dude. Fucking jackass. Now I can't even move. So, you know, like every day when I get up, I'm like, damn, what's gonna happen with this case? Boris, dude, what's gonna happen with this case, right? I've been out for 7 years. My girl just came home. So it's 12 years for cyberbullying and some counterfeit money. That's a lot of time, you know? So I have a lot of shit hanging over my head, you know, so but I try not to let it hold me down or weigh me down. But that's another reason why I don't partake in a lot of this nonsense with these PCs and all that because there's a good chance that I'm gonna go back any day. So I'm on bail. Anything can happen. So why would I want that? Why would I want to answer to something like, hey, I heard You was on YouTube fucking with dropouts. Why would I want to get beat up for that? You know, it's like I don't want that. You know, I don't want that. It's just because that's still connected to my life. You know, I'm on bail. It's like I can't run from it. I can't hide from that shit. So that's a part of my life. But I don't push that on nobody. I don't promote gangs or nothing. I don't do that. But what I do is I give a blueprint to how to guide yourself home, how to navigate through prison without getting caught up. You know, like there's a lot of things that homies they get on social media and they don't try to reach out to all these homies. They don't try to push no knowledge, no nothing. All they try to do is join forces with dropouts to help the YouTube channel grow. I'm not partaking in that. I'm not doing none of that. You know, it's just like being at home, like with your family or your kids. You gotta lead by example in everything you do. You know, you can't talk about um, don't be disrespectful to girls, and then when you're done talking to your son, you call his mom a hoe. Like, does that make sense? Same thing. Some people don't have that discipline. Some people like that. You know, you gotta be cool, be safe. It's another one.